I was born in Korea and I immigrated to the States when I was really young. And I moved back here about 14 years ago. So I actually grew up in Ohio, kind of like half and half. I grew up half in Chicago, half in Ohio. Went to school for to be an engineer. And so I graduated and then started working for a corporate company. It was basically the job that I was going to school for, was to work in the automotive industry. And so I ended up working there as an engineer. And I was like, oh, like I'm so happy that I finally got this, like I'm getting my career started. It's gonna be great. I was the youngest supervisor there. And so, all of these older, veterans, they're kind of looking at me. It's like, oh, this kid just came out of, university. Like, what does this kid know? So they would kind of pick on me and things like that. And so I would just get stressed out every single day. And for me, like I'm not a type of person that gets stressed out very easily. But I would get stressed out every day. I'm like, oh, like I have to go to work now. Like this is gonna be horrible. It's gonna be another bad day. So I actually wanted to move and I actually wanted to try a different job, like a different field. So I tried to move in 2008, and that's when the economy crashed in the States. And so I tried to move to California. I actually and like flew over there, went on a few interviews, and they're like, well, I'm sorry, we're only hiring within the States. And so I'm kind of stressing out because honestly, the only place I wanted to live was California at the time. And so trying to figure out where to move to and what to do now. And then all of a sudden I get a call from my cousin who's living in Seoul. And he's like, well, hey, why don't you come here, live here for a year, be my wedding, be my best man, try living here for a year. If you don't like it, you can always move back. And I'm like, well, I'm young enough, I guess, so I sold all my stuff and then moved out here. And yeah, that's the end of the story, basically. So when I first came here, I would say I went and ate a lot of Korean barbecue, to be honest, because my cousin didn't really take me out too much. I mean, like he would take me out, but it seemed like every single day it was always just like Korean barbecue. And then once in a while we would have some other random dish or something. Maybe for breakfast we'll have a soup or something. But there was never anything that stuck in my head more than Korean barbecue in the beginning. And so I didn't really know about any places. I didn't really have the passion to actually look for other foods as much as I do now. So the funny thing is that so when I first moved to Korea, I would always have friends or friends of friends that would come into Korea, and then somebody would always recommend me. It's like, oh, I know this guy Mike. He'll take good care of you. He'll show you around. And so in the beginning, I was like, well, I don't really know any places, but like I'll show you what I know, and then take you around and kind of show you like how Koreans kind of live for the most part, what they eat, how they drink, how they party, things like that. And then it kind of just became like a habit. And then every year I would have like a few groups of friends that would just come in. And then I'm like, well, maybe I should kind of familiarize myself with like more restaurants and try to expand my knowledge of these places and things. And then eventually it just became a passion. It became like more of a habit in the beginning. And then it became a passion for me. And then so like now I can't go 1 week without going to at least four new places to explore. So now for me, like there's probably not that many people, honestly, in Seoul at least, that know more places to eat than I do. To be honest, I mean, so in Korea, like you're never gonna have terrible food. I want to have the best food, right? So I always search out for that. Not always the best foods are always at these famous restaurants, right? Like sometimes like this grandma in this little tiny little alley that's been there for like 60 years that nobody knows about. She makes, some of the best kimchi jjigae that I've ever had. I have places all over, saved in different places. So I'm in the process of kind of organizing everything to kind of make it easier for me to be able to find as well. Cause I was like, well, I know that place, but I can't remember where it was. I'll remember how the restaurant looks, but I don't remember the name of the restaurant, that type of thing. And so like I have to kind of flip through everything, try to figure out places, and like even on my maps I have to constantly delete places and then replace places and things like that. So I had no plans to actually open up my own food tour business, but it just kind of just happened because every single time I would take around groups, they're like, oh my god, if it wasn't for you I would have never had such a good time. You should really start a business. But in the beginning I kind of laughed it off. I was like, oh, you're just one of my friends, you're just trying to be nice. Every single time they would tell me the same thing, and I'm like, maybe I'm actually good at this. Maybe I should actually look into this. And then actually looked into all the tours in Seoul and realized how bad they were. And I was actually kind of embarrassed as a Korean because all these people are just trying to make money off of these people instead of actually showing them a proper experience and actually showing them proper foods. And so I've traveled quite a bit in my life. Whenever I travel, I like to travel for food. So no matter what country I go to, whatever city it is, I will eat literally all day. And all the sightseeing is basically for me to kind of digest to be able to eat more. That's literally how I, travel. And I realize that there's plenty of people like me that are out there that do the same thing. And so I want those kind of people to take my tours to be able to experience the way that, I would. So I have no background in food tours whatsoever, but I just based on my, like experience, this is the type of tour that I would want to do. If I travel to another country that I don't know. So I want to show people other foods besides the typical, bulgogi, bibimbap, plenty of other foods that we have in Korea that are so amazing that people just don't know about. And so I want people to actually experience those. I mean, these are the dishes that all the locals actually do eat, because like we don't eat Korean barbecue every day. I mean, like we can't. I mean, like we can't eat fried chicken every day either. I mean, there's plenty of, other dishes. And like for me, also at the same time, like I can't eat the same dishes like in the same week even. Like I need something different every single day. So growing up, I would say that my favorite dish that my mom cooked for me was 갈비찜. So the braised, beef ribs. Like the way that my mom cooked it for me, it was always like a soy sauce based, non-spicy version, which is the very old, like traditional, more like the king's kind of, type of dish, right? So it was more of like a palace dish back then that wasn't spicy. Moving to Korea, I was looking for the best of this dish, and then so I would search out, and like to be honest, there weren't really that many options when I first came here. And whenever I did find 갈비찜, it was always the spicy version, and it was usually pork instead of beef. And I'm like, well, this isn't the same thing. Like this is not what I'm looking for. And like even every single time that I tasted it, I was like, no, this isn't like my mom's cooking. Like this doesn't taste the same. And so I was starting to get a little bit stressed out. I'm like, well, like I want to be able to find a dish that's as good as my mom's or even better than my mom's. And so eventually, after a few years, like I was able to find a dish that was as good as my mom's or maybe even better. I mean, but I'll never tell my mother that, obviously. And so when I finally found that dish, like I was super, super happy. And so whenever like I kind of miss my mom, like I would go there and, have a meal there. Food and culture definitely goes hand in hand. There's no doubt about that. Because I mean, the food will show the culture of any country for sure. And food is definitely the best way to kind of get to know the country, get to know the culture, and to be able to kind of relate to other people. It's something that I actually want to show everybody. Because I mean, especially Korean culture is very, very nice. And like now people are actually starting to see this, and it makes me very, very happy. And I want to be able to carry that culture on and introduce it to as many people as I possibly can. My name is Mike Kim, and this is my Korean American story.